Hi, I'm Chris from Cambia Consumer Solutions. I'd like to introduce you to a requirements gathering process that we're really excited about. It's called example mapping. We use it for building software, but you could use it for any sort of technical or non-technical project. There are three reasons we like example mapping so much. First, it's collaborative. When you do example mapping in a group, it helps everyone agree on the requirements and to understand what they mean. This really cuts down on miscommunication and misunderstandings within the team. Second, example mapping is a great way to discover open questions about your project. Or to use fancier language, example mapping turns unknown unknowns into known unknowns. Identifying and answering questions before you start working on the project helps avoid expensive rework later on. Third, it works nicely with Cucumber, which is the technology we use for documentation and testing, and for encouraging behavior-driven development. Enough introduction. Let's see example mapping in action. Imagine that there's a software development team building a mobile ordering app for a restaurant, the Cambia Pizza Kitchen. They want to use example mapping to help everyone agree on how the app should behave, and then record that expected behavior as concrete specifications. They also know that example mapping will expose any questions they need to answer before they start building the app. Example mapping sessions should involve at least 3 people. If you're using it to plan a software project like we are, these people are usually the product owner, a developer, and a tester. But it's fine to add extra people. So let's add the Cambia Pizza Kitchen's chef and head waiter to our example mapping session. Example mapping starts with what's called a story. If you're used to project management with Agile or Scrum, this is the same kind of story. If you haven't done Agile or Scrum, just think of each story as a self-contained feature of a product, a new capability that you want to deliver to the customer as soon as it's done, and that wouldn't make sense to deliver in smaller chunks. Remember that the team's product is a mobile ordering app for the Cambia Pizza Kitchen restaurant. And let's imagine they start by making a story called Healthy Pizza Monday. This means that on Mondays, the Cambia Pizza Kitchen will only serve healthy pizzas. They start by writing the name of the story on a yellow card. Underneath the yellow story card, they're going to add 1 or more blue cards. Those blue cards will list what are called rules. These rules add detail to the story and explain what it really means. That's a little vague, but it'll make more sense when you see some blue cards. Imagine that the chef insists that healthy pizzas need to have vegetables on them. So the group decides the first rule of this story is all pizzas must have at least 1 vegetable topping. They write that on a blue rule card and put it under the yellow story card. Now the head waiter suggests that they should only serve personal-size pizzas on Mondays to prevent customers from eating an entire medium or large pizza by themselves. That rule goes on another blue card. And the product owner suggests that they limit the amount of cheese a customer can add. Another blue card. Great. Now they have 3 rules that flesh out their Healthy Pizza Monday story. If this were a real story, they'd probably want to add more rules, like maybe including free kombucha with every order. But 3 rules are enough for this demonstration. At this point, the tester asks a question. Does pineapple count as a vegetable? The team discusses it, but can't agree on an answer. So this is considered an open question that needs to be researched further, and that needs to be answered before the team starts writing code for the story. Following the rules of example mapping, they write this open question on a red card. Any red cards that are written during this process become action items. The team assigns this red card to the chef, who promises to talk to a nutritionist about how healthy pineapple really is. She'll bring the answer back to the team in the future. Now the developer pipes up, wondering if there should be a blue rule card about offering a discount on whole wheat crust. More discussion follows, and the group decides to write another red question card and assign the head waiter to research whether the restaurant can afford to do that. So far, the team has 1 yellow story card, 3 blue rule cards, and 2 red question cards. There's only one more card color to introduce: green example cards. Green examples add detail to blue rules, just like blue rules add detail to the yellow story. I'll show you what I mean. Let's go back to the first blue card, which says that on Healthy Pizza Monday, customers must order 1 or more veggie toppings. The team needs some concrete examples to explore or explain this rule. These examples clarify the rule and should reveal vagueness or gaps in the rule. As you might guess, these examples go on green example cards. The team brainstorms a little and comes up with an obvious example for this rule. If a customer orders a pizza with only 1 topping, and that topping is a vegetable, the app should accept the order. So they write that on a green example card. You can see that there's a certain structure to green example cards. They describe the context, the trigger, and the outcome. Think of the context as how the world has to be for this rule to apply. In this case, the context is, it's Monday. That means the Healthy Pizza Monday story and all the rules that make up that story only apply on Mondays. The trigger is the action that invokes the rule. The trigger here is, order pizza with just 1 topping, and that topping is a vegetable. The outcome is what you expect to happen after the trigger happens. The outcome here is, accept the order. The team is now done with its first green example card, and they decide to do another that applies to the same blue rule card. They discuss the rule and decide that if a customer orders a pizza with only meat toppings, the app should reject the order. Here's a green card to capture that example. Once they get rolling with these example cards, they're surprised at how easy it is to come up with more. Maybe the group decides that a plain pizza with no toppings at all should count as healthy under this same rule. Okay, here's a card for that example. Now the head waiter asks what the app should do if a customer orders 1 meat topping and 1 veg topping. They decide to reject that order. They capture that behavior on another green example card. Suddenly the tester points out that the last 2 examples have exposed a problem with the original rule and proposes they edit the rule slightly. And that's fine. This kind of on-the-fly editing or refinement is encouraged during example mapping. They change the blue rule card from require 1 or more vegetable toppings to all toppings must be vegetables. This new rule is compatible with all 4 of their green example cards. Now the team feels like they've got enough green cards to fully cover or describe the first rule. That means it's time to move on to the next rule, about serving personal-size pizzas. They repeat the process by creating green example cards for that rule, too. And that's it. That's all there is to example mapping. We started with a story, added rules, and ended up with examples or specifications or requirements or acceptance criteria or whatever you want to call them that describe exactly how the pizza ordering app should behave. Once the app satisfies all of the green example cards, the story is finished and the team can deliver it to the customer. Since the team followed this process as a group, everyone now shares an understanding of what the story is about and how it should cover different situations. The team also discovered some questions that it needs answers to. Remember, it's much cheaper to unearth those questions now before they actually start building the app. The team is now in great shape to stop the requirements gathering process and start building the code needed to deliver the story. Or they could go one step further and convert the green example cards into cucumber scenarios.